Welcome to the Hustler's Handbook podcast. I'm Easton. In this show, we explore the stories of relentless go-getters, uncovering the secrets behind their success. We talk life, work, and everything in between. The highs, the lows, and the grit it takes to keep pushing forward. Tune in and get inspired right here on the Hustler's Handbook podcast. Welcome to the Hustler's Handbook podcast. I'm your host, Easton Johnson. Our guest today is Andrew Roxas, Los Angeles Deputy Sheriff and amateur competitive jiu-jitsu fighter. Welcome to the show, Andrew.
Hey, what's up, Easton? Thanks for having me.
Can you just give us a brief overview about your journey in law enforcement and competitive jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, sure. So when I first started getting into law enforcement was actually at Washington State, where I majored in criminal justice. So I kind of started my journey there. Once I knew I was done with football completely, that's when I started my application process, and that I pretty much immediately got started with my career once I knew I was done with football. Speaking of football, I feel like my journey there actually helps with my law enforcement career a lot because of the different walks of life that people, that teammates have come from, different backgrounds, cultures that not a lot of people get to experience. Like, we're like a true mixing pot, whether it's high school or college. People come from all over the country, and I get to see like a different perspective, I guess. And I think that bringing my own experiences really helps me in my career. Transitioning into jiu-jitsu, or going into jiu-jitsu, starting it, while I was in law enforcement, kind of started, I actually only started 3 years ago, and I've been in this career for 10 years already. On patrol, you come into situations a lot where there's calls for service, where people have to go to jail, and a lot of the times, more times than you would think, people do not want to go, and they'll end up fighting you to try to get away. And there were a good amount of times where I'd have to fight back just to be able to subdue someone and keep everyone safe, whether it's myself and my partner, or the person that they had originally victimized that we were there for. And so I started jiu-jitsu because I wanted another tool on my tool belt. I wanted to be able to control someone without having to go to blows or getting into fist fights with somebody, and I feel like I've been successful in bringing my jiu-jitsu techniques to the field, and I don't ever have to fight anymore. I could just go for a quick takedown and then go into control techniques, and that's pretty much it. They're detained and we take them to the patrol car, and no one is badly hurt, I guess, or no one comes out with a bloody nose or a black eye, or whether it's me or the person I'm trying to arrest. So I feel like it's a good transition there, from the mats to the field.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And so, how are you able to balance such a demanding role like a deputy sheriff and still have time to train in jiu-jitsu and compete?
So luckily for me, I'm not working patrol anymore. I'm on a special assignment, where we actually help house homeless people. There's a lot. I'm sure there are where you guys are at too. But especially in LA County, it's a huge issue, and our team, we help house homeless people that are in encampments, connect them with resources. So it's a different role than patrol was, but I'm glad I'm there now because we have a pretty good schedule where I can work jiu-jitsu in pretty much competitions on the weekends and training every day. So I'm pretty blessed with that.
That's awesome. And so what made you take up jiu-jitsu as opposed to any other martial arts, go hand in hand with your law enforcement career?
I feel like because grappling goes more into controlling somebody, whereas
Mhm.
if I went into like Muay Thai or any type of striking, um, it'll just bring more. I guess I just wanted to bring less damage with my body than
Mhm.
than I guess punching and kicking somebody. I'd rather just take him down real quick and
Mhm.
control him.
Yeah,
I'm not there
definitely.
to beat up on the public. So
For sure. Okay,
yeah,
that makes a lot of sense, and
yeah,
a safer way to bring somebody down, like you
yes,
said, and
yeah.
in control too. So,
Hmm.
um, so you've talked about to me personally, or
Hmm.
in our questionnaire about you being a family man, and
Yes.
you having a wife and whatnot. And so, how are you able to balance that, work life, home balance? How are you able to balance all of that?
So for us, like I said, I have a great schedule. It's pretty much set, so we kind of plan around it. But it helps a lot that my wife, I'm pretty sure you know my wife, Claire. Um,
Mhm.
she's actually training in jiu-jitsu. Also, she's a blue belt now, and
Oh,
yeah,
congrats! That's
and
awesome.
my daughter is actually trains too. So I have two daughters. My oldest one trains. The other one loves being at the academy, just hangs out. So it's a kind of like a family thing when we're over there.
For
So
sure.
that helps a lot. Now that our schedules kind of match up, it's great because whenever she's off, we're all four of us are at the academy, and we it kind of counts as our family time.
That's awesome. And being able to do that all together as a family, like you said, is huge, because
Yeah.
it's all shared as one. So,
Hmm.
can you describe like a typical day for yourself?
Okay, so now that Claire's done with her nursing program, she's BSN now. Um, she and working. I switched to a different shift, and now we're able to. Actually able to do more at home because I'm not working a bunch of overtime like I did
Mm,
before she was working. So, a typical day would be my work shift would be from 6 a.m. to about 4 p.m. And then from there go home, and then I'll take my daughter to class. Her class is at 5:30, which I help out sometimes. Not so much anymore. I think she's getting more comfortable and doesn't want dad on the mat anymore. But for sure, when she first started, I was there every day. But now I just kind of hang out on the sideline because I don't want to be the hovering dad coach.
for
Um,
sure.
but yeah, after she's done with her class, then I go into my training at 6:45, and from there, um, once we're done training, we'll go grab some dinner and then go home, get them ready for bed, and start the day over. So that's pretty pretty chill now. But I'll give you a head kind of a look into what it was like when Claire was working or when she was in her nursing program,
Mm,
and
mhm.
I was working a bunch of overtime. It was crazy because it was pretty much nonstop because I would work overtime uh, on a graveyard shift, which was from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. I would drive home from LA, and then I would just pretty much just stay awake, take the girls to school, get them there by 7:45, and then train jujitsu at 8 a.m.
Oh wow.
Uh, once I'm done there, I kind of have a little downtime to eat and take a quick nap, and then I start my regular shift uh, at noon, from noon to 10, and then just 4 days of that during the week, and
Wow.
it was pretty much just nonstop. But I knew it was a grind that would be worth it once we got through it, So, and it's paid off
Mm.
because of my schedule now is great.
So, looking at the past and now, like what strategies do you think you use to stay task oriented and like staying efficient? Because I'm sure there's days where you're like, I do not want to train. So, how do you
Yeah.
think what worked for you to stay on top of that?
Uh, train for me, training is very important. Like whether you feel good or not, you can always work on something. So,
Hmm.
um, I think in that case, like I told you before, in that questionnaire. if it's important to you, you're gonna make it work. So um, for me, at competitions, I set myself up to uh, to compete in a lot of these tournaments to keep me honest, pretty much. Because
Mm,
if I have an upcoming competition and I skip training, I know that me as an athlete, former Division I college football player, I know that somebody else that I could be fighting is working, or at least in my head, they're working and I'm sleeping. It's a
mm,
no go. So um, kind of keep that in the back of my head to keep me honest. So like if I have an upcoming competition, um, whether I'm super tired, I'll go in and go through the motions, at least get mental reps in, um, just be as efficient as possible. Whether your body allows you to or not, you can at least take mental reps. You know,
mm. And do you feel like a lot of aspects of being an athlete and playing in college pass over or like carry over to what you do now in jiu-jitsu?
for sure. I feel like a lot of the things that we went through, especially the discipline, waking up early, training on your own, going like getting a group of guys together and doing your own thing
Mm,
outside of the team is huge because as of right now, jujitsu is just a hobby. Like I'm not getting paid for
mm,
it. It's good to be able to do all this extra stuff, and I think it's helped me with my success so far in my career. So I feel
mm.
like it's a good thing that everything transitions over.
For sure. So, like looking back or going back to you, having your daughter do jujitsu and you watching her, what lessons would you give to like younger people that are interested in jujitsu, or values that you can aim for as a young athlete?
Uh, for kids now, I or even adults starting off, I feel like the biggest thing is have fun. Like if you're not having fun, then you're not gonna stick to it. So
Mm,
once it becomes kind of like a chore, it's
mm,
not for you. So
mm,
um, and a lot of the times, like we were saying, uh, when life kind of gets in the way of training, people kind of fall out of training and they end up just not coming back. So
mm,
it's important to keep having fun while you're there. And
mm,
the way I look at it is, if you challenge yourself, whether it's physically or mentally each day, then it kind of gives you something to keep coming back to, you know? So it's not just
mm.
like the same thing over and over again. Um, but I think the discipline and just training, knowing when to train hard and when to train smart is huge because your body can't go 100% every day. You'll just burn
Mm.
out. You'll either burn out or get yourself hurt. So I think those are the three big things: is uh, training hard, training smart, and knowing when to, I guess, apply them.
For sure. Same question for law enforcement.
Hmm.
What advice would you give to somebody who wants to start out in law enforcement?
Um, the biggest thing is know what you're getting into. So do your research, know what you're getting into, and make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Because
Mm,
people, it's just not just law enforcement in general, but in anything, if you're not doing it for the right reasons, and you're gonna end up doing something that you shouldn't be doing, or you're gonna be unhappy, which will result in not great results as well. But make sure you do your research and know what you're getting into because a lot of what law enforcement is isn't what you see on TV or on social media. Uh,
mm.
just make sure you're getting into it for the right reasons too.
Yeah, I like that for sure. So obviously, from the small time we talked, we know that you are a very busy person. So when you do get the little downtime you do get, what do you do to unwind or de-stress?
Most recently is just hanging out. Like if we're just at home, we're just hanging out with my kids. Me and my girls, while Claire's at work over at because she works a graveyard shift over at
Mm,
Loma Linda Children's Hospital. Uh, she, me and the girls watch the Physical 100 on Netflix, or just like little series like The Last Airbender. You
Mm,
know, we try to start a
okay,
little
yeah.
series, and we'll watch it as a family while Claire is gone. So it's something just to kind of keep us occupied.
Yeah, that's cool. And I love that you make it family time. I
Yeah.
said, time for yourself and you're like,
Oh,
"Hey, I
sorry.
want to kick it with my
Yeah.
girls." No, no, no,
Yeah.
honestly. And that was a great answer,
Yeah.
honestly. It just shows like where your priorities are, and putting your kids
Uh,
first is huge. So, no, I admire that, seriously. Moving forward, goals wise, like,
mhm.
being in the law enforcement and doing jujitsu, do you have any like specific goals with jujitsu or law enforcement, or a combination of both, or
Uh, Honestly, it's crazy. And I told you before law enforcement, like I said, I'm 10 years in my career now, and my goals have kind of changed as my girls get older, and the more I see uh, with what's going on in law enforcement. I'm just going like I'm glad I'm at a good spot where we're doing the type of things that we're doing in terms of rehousing homeless people and giving them resources. I'm cool there, but I would personally like to transition into start making money off of jujitsu. So in the future, hopefully, open my own academy and kind of instill the discipline and the hard work uh, in students of my own. So that would be pretty cool for the future.
That's really cool, man. And to stay motivated and work with the next generation of
Yeah,
fighters, and that's yeah, that's cool, man. I hope that all works out for you. Do you have a time
thank you.
frame for that, or is it just kind of goal ahead of time?
It's like a long-term goal, but if
Hmm.
it happens sooner, then great. But it's not. It's almost like a retirement plan. So
Okay,
yeah.
that's what's up. Going back to jiu-jitsu,
hmm
what has been your biggest accomplishment or proudest moment so far in your career?
It's crazy because somebody asked me this before too. And uh, I've won championships in Europe. I've won American national championships, uh, international Masters North American championships. Those are all great, but it's crazy. My proudest moment was when my daughter won her first gold medal, and
Oh,
it
that's
was
awesome.
it was great because Claire was able to help her warm up, and I was able to corner her during her fight, and
Mm.
she did great. She actually used a game plan that we talked about, and it's funny because she her game plan looks exactly like mine. So that's
Oh,
it's pretty
that's
cool. Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
And how old is
Oh,
she?
he is turning 9 years old.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
really cool. That's awesome, man. And
yeah,
once again, your greatest accomplishment is something your child has done.
yeah,
So it just shows like how family oriented you are, man. And
yeah.
just, from watching you on social media and seeing like all the success in such little time, and, you know, you're a humble bragger at much, because I was expecting, to keep going, but
No,
yeah, very humble in itself. And I love seeing you do it, man. Cause, I feel like a lot of athletes, especially like football players, once they're done, they're done. I think
yeah.
they just get in that mindset of like, no more early morning wake ups. So I don't have to deal with anybody yelling at me, or,
hmm
nothing to really push yourself. So to be able to see you do that and succeed in it and have that grind is, really cool to see.
Thank you.
So, you told me about your role as, a deputy sheriff and, a jiu-jitsu coach, and like what kind of impact do you feel like you're trying to make, or you feel like you've had made in your community or just with other fighters?
I think so. In terms of work, I feel like I personally go the extra step to make sure that the uh, the people that I make contact with know exactly what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So, what I see is like just talking to friends or people from the academy that don't necessarily know that I'm in law enforcement. When they talk about stuff, they say that like cops just do this. They'll pull you out of the car, do all this stuff, and not tell you what's going on. And they're kind of like,
Hmm.
dude, did I just get my rights violated and all
Mm,
that stuff? And um, I personally like to explain as I'm going through a traffic stop or making a contact, what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, like how it's legal for me to do it. And
mm,
so I think it gives a person more understanding, and it it's I guess it's not like a thing where you feel like you're getting done wrong, you know, because
mhm,
I'm explaining to you what I'm doing, and cool. Like I'll tell you if nothing comes of it, cool. We're good, and if I find whatever it is, then it is what it is, and we'll deal with it then. But I'm not gonna just pull you out and start reaching and pulling stuff out of your pockets without you knowing what I'm doing, you know. So I think
mm.
I think going the extra step with the community, just communicating, um, I think helps a lot. And it shows them that there are deputies out there or police officers out there that are knowledgeable and aren't just out there to bully people.
Yeah, changing the narrative, man. I think
Yeah.
that's huge in itself because, like, you are in a tough position, and
Hmm.
like you said, social media and all that give police officers and sheriffs a bad look, and it's unfortunate, because there are
Hmm.
good people like yourselves that are doing the right thing. So I appreciate it myself. So,
Hmm.
um, looking forward, what type of legacy do you want to leave yourself and your family?
I would like to leave a legacy of someone who is a hard worker. So, like when I'm long gone, I want to like my old teammates or teammates from jujitsu or just people from work. Like if they're talking about me when I'm long gone, and if they say like, "Man, that guy was a hard worker," I'd be happy. You know.
Hmm. That's cool, man. And from what I know of you, are you just playing together at Wazoo, man? You got great work ethic, and you're a great teammate. You always lift each other up, and so and it shows, man. You always put other people first, and we need more people like you. So I
Thank you.
appreciate what you're doing. So just to finish up, like social media wise, like how can
Mm.
people keep in touch or see what you're doing with the jiu-jitsu and your community outreach with work?
Uh, yeah, my Instagram. I'm on Instagram. It's my name. It's Andrew underscore Rojas, Roxas. Our Jiu Jitsu Academy social media. Alliance Jiu Jitsu Redlands. And then the next one is Alliance Jiu Jitsu Ukaipa. Uh, I don't know if you could put that on the post or
Oh yeah, for
so they
sure, I
can
can do that.
see it. But I'm on both pretty frequently. Um, I'm actually partial owner of Alliance Jiu Jitsu Ukaipa, which is kind of
Oh,
a step in
nice.
the right direction of eventually making money off of Jiu Jitsu. So hopefully, I'll be able to open my own academy someday, and when I do, I'll for sure let you know.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to have you back on again too, so once it gets open, we can get it out there to the community and stuff. But anything else you would like to add or talk about on the podcast while you're here?
No, man, I'm good. Thanks.
Okay, yeah,
Do you have
yeah,
any
for
questions?
sure. Yeah, yeah, no, definitely, man. And I appreciate you being on. And like I said, I'd love to have you on again and maybe chop it up about football and,
Yeah.
just the experiences you had there and so on and so forth. I see you're getting in all the sports that are just demolishing your hands, man. Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
because those
Check them
those
out.
hands be getting worked.
I think I have I think maybe like my thumbs and one other finger. Everything else is just destroyed.
No, man, you work really hard and it shows, man. And I'm very proud of what you're doing out there. And thank you for coming on to the show. And like I said, love to have you on again sometime.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me, Houston.
All
Good
right,
catching
Andrew,
up.
take care of yourselves, man.
All right, brother.
Thanks for tuning in to the Hustler's Handbook podcast. I hope you found today's episode as inspiring and insightful as I did. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your fellow hustlers. Keep pushing, keep striving, and remember, the hustle never stops. See you next time.